Hi everyone, welcome to Creative Stampin' Designs. My name is Karen. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Central New Jersey. And we're going to make a fun fold card tonight. I'm using the Snowflake Kisses bundle. So I'm using the big snowflake, the small one, and the little tiny one here. And then I'm using the Delicate Pines. I just needed some snowflakes to stamp. So I'm going to be using the Delicate Pines stamp set. And I'm also using the traditional labels dies, which I did die cut this ahead of time. I tried to get some of the stuff done beforehand, but there's certain things I couldn't get done. Before I get started, just a quick public service announcement that tomorrow is the very last day to sign up for this amazing starter kit offer. You get $125 worth of products for only $35. Or you can choose to get $189 of products of your choice for $99. It ships for free. It includes a paper pumpkin kit, business supplies, but there's never an obligation to sell. You can join as a hobby demonstrator. I'd love to have you on the team. But this does end tomorrow. Okay, all right, let's get started. Hey, Tara, thanks for joining. All right, so we're going to do the outside of the card first. I'm going to work a little backwards. The inside is where the fold is. So I'm starting with a 4 1/4 by 11-inch card base, scored at 5 1/2. Okay. And I have a panel of the Elegant Pine Snowflakes DSP and a panel of the gold foil. All the measurements will be on my blog tomorrow, which will go live about 8 o'clock in the morning. And I'm going to just use Stampin' Seal. Whenever I adhere something to the gold foil, I don't like to use liquid glue because if it oozes out, it makes a real mess on the foil and then it looks ugly. But I am a liquid glue person, so I do like to use liquid glue, especially for the layers, to make sure they adhere. And we're just going to adhere this to the front of the card base. The front is just a very, very basic, very simple, and it's the inside where the little mechanism is. All right, and then I did pre-cut the label from the traditional labels dies. So it's this one here I used, and I cut it from a panel of basic white. And I'm going to stamp the sentiment from the Snowflake Kisses stamp set in Secret Sea ink. If you're hopping on, just say hi, let me know where you're from. I'm just going to get it as close to the center as I possibly can. Close this up. I just like to give it a second to dry. The dark pigment inks they can smear easily. So I like to just give it a second to dry before I start playing around with it. And I am a half-dimensional person. Can't see which side I have up. I'd rather use a few extra of the half-dimensionals. just gonna put this kind of in the center. Just like that. And then I'm just going to add a couple embellishments, and the card front will be finished. Okay, and I think I'm going to use the cherry cobbler ones. I'm just going to put them in the center of a couple of the snowflakes that are here, just to give it a little bling. Okay, we're just going to set that on the side because that part is done. Now we have the center panel. And this is where I couldn't do die cutting ahead of time. So I'm just going to give it a fold. I believe this one is 6.5 inches by, well, it's not quite 4 1/4. It's a little short, so I didn't want to take a chance that it would stick out on the top or bottom. So I just gave it a little, just so I know where all my creases are. And this is where I'm going to die cut. So I'm going to use this corner die cut. And there we go. And I'm going to die cut on the bottom left and the top right. And then I'm going to use just this small snowflake and the little cluster of snowflakes. I'm just going to go over to my die cutting machine and cut those all out. I'll be right back. And I'm cutting these just about a 1/4 inch from the edges. Just going to pop all these out. And these snowflakes, don't throw them away because these can be used. The ones from the corner, I mean, you can use them if you put them up against, like on an edge of another card. They can be used that way. Oh boy. I don't want to pull this because I don't want it to rip. Which I don't think it did. If it did, it's a snowflake, and all snowflakes are different, so that's okay. And then we have these snowflakes. Like I said, don't throw the snowflakes out because you can use them for another card. I may even put them on this card. At least the smaller ones. All right, get this mess out of here. All right, so like I said, this one's the bottom left. That's the top right I wanted. I'm just going to fold these in and I'm going to put some tear and tape on them. Just right along the edge. And I could have made these a little smaller, but I wanted to make sure. I was afraid to make them. Originally, I was going to do them about 1/4 of an inch. But I didn't want to take a chance that I glued this part to the other part. And the other thing I'm going to do, whenever I'm doing a fun fold card that has some kind of a mechanism, I like to use tear and tape, right? And I'm just going to give this, just so it doesn't stick out, you don't see it. So I'm just going to give this a little trim here. There's no exact amount, it just, whatever you want to trim off. Okay. Now, I'm going to adhere, put some glue dots. I have 2 pieces of vellum, and I'm going to put the glue dots everywhere but the tight corners. So for this one here, I won't put any on this side, but I'll put it in the other corners. Only because I'm afraid it'll come through with the snowflake. So I put it on the corners, and then I put a couple just in between here to hold the vellum down. The vellum will be available starting November 4th with the new November online exclusives. And that's one of the perks right now is if you join, you can add the online exclusives, the November online exclusives to your starter kit, which is always nice. All right, so I'm going to just flip this over, and you want to make sure you're covering all the snowflakes. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side. So again, this corner, I'm not going to put any glue dots. So I'll do those 3 corners, and then I'll put some right here on the little mechanism, so then the vellum will stick. And you can always sneak more glue dots underneath if you need to. Okay, that one ended up on my nail. They stick really well to nails. Glue dots do. Just trying to get it off because my finger will be sticking to everything. Okay. So there. So I'm going to fold it in half and fold the sides in. Oh, before we do that, okay, I have 2 small panels of DSP. Okay, You can use plain white paper. I found that being I have a dark cardstock, it works better if you have either white or a light panel behind. I decided just to go with the light panel behind, just to stick with the DSP. So these two small pieces are going to go you want to put them just about to the score line. Hey, Jeannie, thanks for joining. Okay, so I'm going to put those like that. Then we're going to take this panel, fold it in half, and I use my grid paper all the time. Sometimes there's times when I'm live, I'll be sitting and counting to make sure I have things centered. And I'm going to put this about a 1/4 inch from the edge. Okay, and I'm just going to hold that down. I'm going to lift this off. And this is how this was the easiest way I found to do it. And just close the card base on it. And then flip it over. So now it'll be in the same spot. And fold this part over. And now I'm hoping I put it the right way. I wasn't paying attention. So there you go. Make sure I can see. Okay, now we're going to finish the inside up. And then I will show you what. Okay, so I have 2 panels of basic white. And I'm just going to stamp sentiment on the one. Well, actually, I'm stamping a sentiment on both of them. So on the one side, I'm going to put sending warm hugs. And I'm stamping again with Secret C. And on the other side, I'll get this out of the way because I know I'm going to stick my hand in it. I'm just putting Happy Winter. And I'm just going to try to get the sentiments kind of equal. That was an accident waiting to happen. Here we go. And then I have the smallest snowflake from the Delicate Pines. And I'm going to get ink all over the block again. Okay, I'm going to stamp it full strength, and then I'm going to stamp it off twice. Or stamp it off once and just stamp it like that. And on this side, you know what? I think I'm going to use my little snowflake that I cut out. I might as well get use out of them. Let's see. As some of you know, I tend to wing it when I'm doing videos and decide last minute what I want to do. Close that up. All right, so we're going to get a little bit of liquid glue, and you only need a tiny amount. Get my reverse tweezers so then I don't have to worry about getting gluey fingers. Extra on that one, so I'm just going to wipe it off on there. We're just going to put this one right down here. And I'm just Just put a tiny bit. You have to have a very light hand, and sometimes mine is too light that I can't get because I'm afraid to squeeze it and get a blob of glue. I do not like doing that. That, and I'll do the other little one too. Okay. And I'm going to use the little cluster snowflakes, and I'm going to cut it out just from the bottom of this one. So I'll be right back. So now you have little white snowflakes that you could put on something too now. I'm not going to put them on this card. Just get them out of the way. All right, so now I'm going to adhere these panels inside. So this one I'm putting on the right side. This is where I like to use liquid glue, and I didn't. I'm actually going to turn it like this. And I'm covering up the little part that's holding. Just flip this over, just give it a good press on the back. This one I'm actually going to put liquid glue because I need to get it just around those snowflakes, and I'm going to put just a very light line. I'm going to put this one on the left side. And there you go. That's it with the card. And let me do the envelope real quick, and then I will show you everything all over. I actually have a tea light up here with me. So I'm not sure what to call it other than maybe a tea light card. So we never have naked envelopes. Whether you stamp on it, put DSP on it. And I see comments going by and I'm missing them. Well, thanks. Thanks, Tara. Yes, Jeannie, you do need the set. Absolutely. The Snowflake Kisses, the stamp set is all sentiments. It's the dies I really wanted. So I'm just going to stamp a snowflake on the front because, again, I don't like naked envelopes. And I'm going to stamp the small snowflake. Right like that. And then I'm going to take the larger one and I'm going to stamp it off once. And then line up those little berries. That's what I found to work best for me. Right now, though, I forgot about having the camera in the way. It's easier when you don't have the camera in the way. I'm having trouble seeing this one. Well, I'm I'm going to take a chance that I've got it centered. Okay, I'm a little off, but that's okay. It happens. And then I'm going to just stamp a couple of the small snowflakes around. And I stamped those all off once. Okay, so let's see if I can get this to work. I might have to shut the light off. I do have a tea light. Let's see if you can see it. But then when you put the tea light in, I'm not sure if you're able to see it or not. But the tea light flickers through the snowflakes. So you have a nice little card to set up on a mantle. So it's not only a card, but it's a little gift for someone. So that's it. That's my card for today. I'm going to plan on being back next Thursday at 7 o'clock again. I hope you can join me. I'll have another fun fold card ready for you. If you're watching this and you're interested in joining, tomorrow is the very last day to join that amazing joining special, and I'd love to have you on the team. Just contact me at creativestampindesigns@gmail.com, and we can talk and get you all signed up. All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and I hope to see you next week. Bye-bye.